Hello, welcome back to another trombone lesson. Today we're going to talk about articulation on the trombone. My name is Thomas Lobin. I'm a Brooklyn-based trombonist and bass trombonist, and we're talking about articulation on the trombone today. So articulation is a very important concept. It applies to every single note that you play in the trombone. How does the note start? So we're going to talk about just some general concepts, and then we're going to talk about, some exercises that you can do and some thoughts that I think you should be thinking about when you're working on it. So the first place that I would start if I'm investigating working on articulation is thinking about the tongue placement. Now, normally I'm not really concerned with like the mechanics of producing a sound, like with the embouchure or the buzz. Like I'm not really thinking specifically about like my lips or my corners. That's not something that I think about. But when I am working on articulation, I think tongue placement is something to investigate and to think about. I find that in the different ranges of the horn, you're going to have a different tongue placement. Like in the low pedal range, you'll be articulating directly into the middle of the embouchure. So kind of like between the teeth. And then as you go up, the tongue position will rise so that maybe it'll be where the teeth meet the gums, and then in the higher register it'll be even farther back than that. That's something to experiment with, to play in the different ranges and to find what will give you the cleanest articulation that you're looking for. The next part of articulation that I think is important to consider is what style of music that you're playing. A jazz band staccato note is a lot different than like a classical solo staccato note. Like all of the different genres, concert band, jazz band, pop, horn section, they all have like kind of their own interpretation of articulations, of accents, of staccato notes, of legato. Like what does that mean in each style? That's something to definitely think about when you're working on articulation. Am I trying to play, super short, crispy notes? Am I trying to, just have like a solid all-around attack? So that's definitely like thinking about the genre of music that you're playing and kind of the articulation that you want to achieve. Like really having that goal in mind when you're approaching these sort of exercises. So the first exercise that I would work on when I'm practicing articulation is just this really simple, it's just 3 half notes with a phrase mark over them. It's by Reginald Fink from one of his warm-up books. It's just do, do, do. The trick with this one is to have a really smooth connected legato, but also making it clear enough that each note is distinct. This is an exercise that you can play in all keys and all ranges, and it really just like zooms in on specifically working on that legato articulation. So another way that we need to work on articulation is working on the speed of our single tongue, which there are a lot of great exercises that are like just 16th note based on one note, and it usually goes up a scale, down a scale. These are really great for zoning into how fast can we actually single tongue and how clean can we make it. I think when we're working on this exercise, it's absolutely essential to have a metronome, and I also recommend recording yourself playing this exercise because it'll reveal a lot about your timing, about am I slowing down, am I right with the metronome. So that's really important to have that feedback because it might not always be apparent to us behind the bell. If you're finding this lesson helpful, check the description below for how to sign up for private lessons with me. I'm currently offering a limited number of spots in my online studio or in person in New York City. Hope to talk to you soon. So when we're working on pushing the tempo, we want to make sure to establish good habits from the beginning. So that means that we start at a comfortable tempo, that we can really cleanly play the whole exercise, and then we go up from there. You bump it a couple beats, can I still play clean? Bump it a couple more beats, can I still play clean? clean is better than fast. So make sure that you establish good habits from the start of when you're working on articulation. So these single note 16th note patterns are great for isolating, working on just the articulation, but we also need to work on incorporating the slide and having a clean slide. We don't want to have any twa or like any kind of mismatch between the slide movement, the articulation, the air change for the notes, etc. We want to make sure everything's happening at the same time. So it's also really important to work on articulation exercises that incorporate the slide, like scale pattern exercises, like playing scales, longer up and down. That's also a really important thing to incorporate. And a lot of times you'll find that the tempo needs to be a little slower when we're incorporating the slide so that we can play cleanly. Because I'm going to say again, playing clean is better than playing fast. So I hope you found that this lesson helpful, and I hope you can incorporate some of these ideas into your daily practice. And if you did find it helpful, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more lessons, and I'll see you next time. Happy practicing.